So, hi everyone, and a super warm welcome to you on this very sunny evening. I hope wherever you are cool. You have a nice breeze, maybe a little bit of a drink in one hand, possibly a cocktail or something. Anyway, whatever happens, I hope you're chilled, hope you're relaxed, and I hope you're sitting back and you are going to love the next 30 minutes because we're going to be presenting our really incredible products and business. I don't think you've probably ever heard of anything like this before, but we're so excited to present it to you. So just to explain, my name is James Sanson. I'm the host, and I've been involved with the company now for 34 years, can you believe? So there we go. Never intended to be involved anything like this long, but I've just had a love affair with the company and the products, and I've just never been able to tear myself away. And I'm even more excited today than I've ever been. So I'm hosting. Actually, also, I'm going to be taking us through the products. And then we have got a very special guest, Kirsty, who is going to be giving her story. And then we've got our wonderful guest, Lucy, who's going to be telling her story, giving some tips on how to be successful. And we're recognizing her for her incredible qualification for our Center Parks incentive. So that's a very exciting thing coming up in September. All right, so without further ado, I'm just going to go straight into our presentation about our incredible Juice Plus products. Now, Juice Plus is a brand that has been with us since 1993, believe it or not. And it's a very, very innovative product. It's a clever way of effectively delivering 30 fruits, vegetables, and berries into our bloodstreams, into our systems every day through capsules. And I remember being on a plane once, I think going somewhere, I think it was British Airways, and the stewardess said, "Oh, what is that you've got in your hand there?" And I've just taken some with a glass of water. And she said, "Next thing, we'll be serving all our food in capsules." So I thought, well, maybe, but right now we've got the Juice Plus and the fruits and vegetables and berries all in a capsule. And it's all bioavailable, which means it gets into the bloodstream, and most importantly, it gets to our cells. So that's the most important thing. So as you can see, it's close to nature. It helps bridge the gap between what we are eating and what we should be eating every day. The most extraordinary thing about Juice Plus now, believe it or not, is that there are now 47 independent studies. Now, very importantly, these are all gold standard. So they're placebo controlled, which means that not everyone receives Juice Plus when it's tested. Some people receive a placebo, which is not Juice Plus at all, and they're tested. It's double blind, which means that then some of the people who are taking the placebo then take the fruit and vegetables, and it's reversed around. And it's also peer reviewed, which means that all of the reports and the findings of the science are then sent off to a completely separate scientific institution, and they then have to give their seal of approval as to whether the science has been carried out correctly, and whether the conclusions are correct, and whether the research is genuinely rigorous. So can you imagine to have 47 independent studies all on that basis is absolutely spectacular. So you can see it's 40 there, but it's more than that now. So let's look at this now. Now, one of the genius things that we have with Juice Plus is we have our Healthy Starts program. And that means that when the parents take the capsules, the children get it for free. So isn't that absolutely extraordinary? So that means that the children are able to enjoy all the benefits of the fruits and vegetables, and the results are extraordinary. As you can see here, after 1 year of participation, these are the reports: 71% of children and teenagers consumed less fast food, 89% more aware of their health, 71% drinking more water, and so on and so forth. So we can see that's an absolutely tremendous benefit, and how really ingenious to present that and to have that available for parents and children. So beyond that, we have got our complete range. Now, this is called complete because it is effectively a complete meal. So we've got this in shakes, bars, soups, and also we've got something which is called the booster, which is now being called Juice Plus Control. So all of these are designed to deliver well, certainly the shakes, the bars and the soups are designed to deliver a complete meal. And they've all got the fruit and vegetable formula in them. And so they are all equally beneficial. So the wonderful thing about this is that people can replace a meal. And so essentially, there's no cost at all to these products. I mean, obviously there is, but when you think about the fact that people are replacing a meal when they're consuming the Juice Plus Complete, then effectively it cancels itself out. So it's such a no-brainer when we talk to people and say, well, would you like something to replace your one meal a day, which is just so nutritious? And people go, yeah, that sounds such a great idea. So let's move on now, and we'll move on now to our latest product, which is Perform. Now, Perform is designed to give people a lot more protein. So this is particularly for people that are taking exercise every day. And of course, we all need to be increasing our muscle mass. This is really, really, really critical. And it's even more important now because most people are quite sedentary. When you think about the fact that we're often sitting in front of our laptops, our phones, our TVs, all manner of different things, and we're not anything like as mobile as we were or as we should. So Perform is there so that when we go out and we take exercise, we're building that muscle mass. And it's absolutely delicious as well. So that's whether you're going for a walk with the dog, whether you're on a bouncy castle, you know, whether you are going for a run, whether you're playing tennis, it's applicable for whenever you are taking exercise. All right, so that's enough on the product at the moment. There's so much more that we could say, but just to say that it's cutting edge, backed by science, delivering wonderful results, and absolutely yummy. And so many people, millions of people are already consuming Juice Plus. So let's now turn to our guest, our first guest. And Kirsty, are you there? We would love to hear your story.
Hello, yes. Okay, so with my story, I'm going to take you on to like the background before I started on Juice Plus, just to give you an idea of kind of what my lifestyle was like. I started at a size 22. I always skipped breakfast, always had the excuse, don't have time for meals in the morning, then binged on chocolate, crisps, fizzies, and this went on for years. I would easily consume a litre of fizzy every single day, and even panicked if there wasn't any in the house. So yeah, my kind of lifestyle was horrendous. And I was a size 22, and I had my third baby in March 22, and then we went into lockdown. So it was going to go one of two ways. I was going to get even bigger and even more unhealthy, or I needed to turn it around. So on the 1st of June 2020, I contacted Hayley and got onto the shakes and boosters, because I decided that I didn't want to be that mum of 3 children that had to sit on the sidelines and kind of watch my kids run around and have fun, because I just couldn't do it. I didn't have the energy. I was overweight and always just kind of like felt like I didn't want to join in because I was that bigger mum. So I started on the shakes and boosters, and within 10 weeks I dropped 2 stone. Yeah. I actually couldn't believe how quickly. I'm one of those people who always
within 10 weeks, did you say?
Yeah, within 10 weeks. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was quite shocking. And people who know me know I never stick to anything. You know, I always used to celebrate a £2 drop with a takeaway, which was ridiculous. But you know, I was absolutely gobsmacked that I had managed to drop 2 stone, and decided that, you know, these products were amazing. They were doing wonders for me. So I kind of then got more products. I ended up being on all of the products, all of the capsules. My postpartum hair loss was horrendous. My hair was falling out. I had bald patches. So I got onto the berries and the omegas. And by Christmas, so 7 months in, I'd gone from a size 22 to a size 12, which I literally couldn't believe it. Yeah, I was like a whole other person. I was like, well, I was half of the person I was when I started, basically. But it was, for me at that point, it was more about the weight loss. It's given me the energy to go out and be with my kids. I was no longer tired at 7 o'clock at night and needed to go to bed before the kids. My hair was growing, it was getting thicker, the energy, and my confidence grew so much that, while I was obviously on the products, I joined the business as well. So again, my confidence grew. Speaking on calls, I've spoken at some events as well. So it's not just been my weight loss. For me, it's about my kind of mindset, my mental health, and kind of just how I feel as a person now. Best thing I ever did was take the products.
Fantastic. I mean, you look wonderful. You look so radiant, full of energy. I mean, you must feel like a completely different version of yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
you must
Hayley's known me before.
Go on.
Hayley's known me before I started on the products, and obviously she's seen me completely change into a completely different person.
Kirsty, thank you. Amazing.
Thank you.
You've done so well. Thank you so much for coming on in the car, and thank you very, very much indeed. Tremendous.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Really, really great. And I'm absolutely thrilled for you. Thank you so much. Good. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move on now. And we are going to move on now. And we're going to welcome Howard. And we are going to look at the business. So Howard, if you're there, we would love to have an overview of the business, please.
Howard's here, no problem. A warm welcome to everybody to the call tonight, especially those who are looking at this perhaps for the very first time. Now, it's my absolute pleasure to take us through the actual business opportunity behind it. And it's going to be a sort of slightly truncated version. That will become apparent as we go through. But this statement's pretty telling. Over 7,000 people are joining as new partners, joining the Juice Plus family in effect every single month. Now, let's have a think as to why that might be. Well, before a little microbe escaped from a laboratory in China, there was a very, very heightened awareness of people's personal health and well-being. And there's no surprise there, perhaps, because you can't avoid news telling us what's good for you by opening a magazine or switching on the TV, and what's bad for you by looking at a newspaper or whatever. There's so much information out there, all a bit confusing. So that awareness, and then COVID hit us. And obviously that growth, that awareness has just grown exponentially. In addition to that, and the statistics that are sort of pouring out on the news, which I tend not to listen to because it's all rather depressing at the moment, but some of the statistics are really, really telling. I'm hearing now that inflation has gone up to 9.4%. That it was the highest it had ever been, or the highest it had been for 40 years. Last month, it's now gone beyond that. The difference between wage increase and the rise in prices has never been never been greater. A massive difference there. So people are really having trouble keeping pace. Is it a wonder, therefore, that people are more open to looking at business opportunities? The simple answer to that is yes. And why? Because they have to, just to stay where they are. And let me tell you, my friends, it's not going to get easier anytime soon. Now, I was listening to an Ed Mylett podcast a little bit earlier today, and he was talking about some people get frightened. I think we all are a little bit. Some people take flight, and some people just freeze. The 3 Fs. Here, there's an opportunity for people to actually buck that trend. And we've already heard from 1 or 2 people already, and we're going to hear from some more. So let's move on to the next slide. Now, there are 4 ways that you can actually derive an income through Juice Plus. I've only got time It's a truncated presentation, as I say, but I've only got time to talk about the one. Now, everybody starts on the left-hand side of that staircase as a partner. £50 gets you to be a partner with your own e-commerce website, your own back office to help you track your business. Now, with help, with training and encouragement from people who have a vested interest in your success, you can walk up that staircase, you can run, and some people fly. They really can. And if you do, and you get right across to that right-hand position of Presidential Marketing Director Plus, you will pick up a cool set of bonuses amounting to nearly £120,000. Now, if you factor in the 3 other areas that you can actually derive an income, it's no surprise that that level of income compares very favorably with top executives in the corporate world and senior positions within the private sector. Now, in addition to that, you don't have a boss who is constantly setting you targets and parameters with which to work. You have your foot on the accelerator, your hand on the throttle. You don't have somebody else who's trying to take your job. You are trying to encourage and help people to be better than you. And by default, if that happens, you will make that move up that staircase. Sounds complicated? Talk to the person who invited you on the call. It really is very, very straightforward. So that's where we are now. Let's just have a look at we're going to look first at how soon we can actually make some money. The answer is straight away. Now, I didn't realize when I joined, you actually get paid for your own usage. How cool is that? Now, it's no surprise that when you start a health journey, there may be others close to you who want to join you in that process. It might be family, friends, it could be people at work, it could be friends in general. And in so doing, they may be, they will be interested in starting their journey, and you will be able to help them by providing them with access to these amazing products that James talked about. Okay. And if you do so, it's very, very common for people to make that first step up that staircase in their very first month. And if they do that, they'll pick up the first of those bonuses, which is £80. Now, if you factor the other commissions and so forth on top of that, that just about doubles that to around 150 or so, 150, 160 pounds. So you've got a return on that 50 quid pretty quickly, haven't you? You've made a three times your return on your investment straight away. So those figures are quite notional there, but typically people can make that sort of money in their first 3 months. And some people make even more than that. It really is dependent on what you put in, how fast you want to push the pedal. Okay. So that is where we are now. Let's have a look at where we're going. This is rather exciting. This is a map of the Juice Plus world. And the countries in orange are where Juice Plus are at the moment, around about 30 in total. And not surprisingly, North America's covered. It's an American company, as we've already said. So North America's covered, and Mexico we went into shortly before COVID. Most of Europe is taken care of as well. A few gaps in Eastern Europe, and we went into Portugal back in January and Czech Republic slightly more recently than that. In Asia, we launched in the UAE with the view to that being a springboard into the other markets. And so far we've landed in Malaysia and also Singapore. And then down in the right-hand corner, you've got Australia and New Zealand. But guys, you're probably thinking, well, what about the rest of the world? Well, yeah, give us a chance. We're going to get there. There is moves afoot behind the scenes, setting up for global expansion. Continents are untouched at the moment. You can see South America, Africa, nothing. Asia, virtually nothing. When you consider that 9 out of the top 15 most populated countries are in that continent alone, 3.5 to 4 billion people. Do you think it's fair to assume that some of those people have the same health concerns that you and I do? And 1 or 2 might be facing financial challenges and are just waiting for an opportunity to be presented to them. Do you think that's possible? Now, you know as well as I do that with the power of modern communications, one of these, the laptop on which I'm talking to you guys, do you think there is a way that we can actually communicate and send that message to people, get that message to people? It's never been easy to make global connections. Many of the people on this call already have them. It's our job. If we have a job, it is our job to communicate that message to help others through these difficult and challenging times with the benefit and the message of good health, which, let's face it, we all want to improve. And the question you just have to ask yourself, and the last thing that I'll leave you with, is how big a part do you want to play? There is no glass ceiling here. How big a part do you want to play? With that, I'll send you back to James. Thank you.
Thank you, Howard. Thank you very much indeed. Always brilliantly presented. And I think you know, you so rightly say, how big a part do we want to play in this? Because the role that we have, the mission that we have is vast. So many people looking for what we have. So thank you very much indeed for that. So now let's bring on Lucy.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Hi. Look, thank you so much for coming on.
No, that's okay.
And, you know, I can see that you're a qualifier for Centre Parks.
Yes.
And we want to know how you've done that. But first of all, we'd love to hear your story. How did you start?
So I was very much like Kirsty. I started on the products first, and not as amazing as her, but obviously I lost 2 stone in 3 months. And I just had a baby as well, just before just into lockdown actually. So you know, when COVID hit, everyone was like very sort of unsettled with money. Nobody really knew what was happening in the first lockdown, and obviously I was literally heavily pregnant and didn't have a clue what was going to be happening, you know, with the future. Like, you know, the first lockdown, it was just scary, wasn't it? So yeah, so obviously had my little boy. I've also got a little girl as well. She's nearly 5, and I've got a little boy as well. He's 2 now. But I actually started the business. I started the business maybe a couple of months after starting the product, because obviously I got amazing results, so I wanted to help others also get amazing results. And I was really sort of focused on helping mums feel a bit more confident in their bodies, and, you know, just sort of like just started off just wanting to help a few people, but then when I really got into the business, I could really tell how amazing the benefits were. And I'm not talking about just commission and the bonuses or anything like that. You know, just like the friendships and stuff like that. Sometimes being a mum is quite lonely, and, you know, this business gave me a bit more of a purpose than just being a mum. Like, absolutely love being a mum, but it was something that I could focus on, and I really enjoyed focusing on it. So yeah, so basically I didn't go back to my job after maternity leave. Obviously after COVID, obviously we come out and stuff like that. So yeah, this has been my main income for nearly 2 years now, which, you know, so obviously I do little bits on the side, like I still care for a few children and stuff like that, but I'd done that before I even started this business with my other job. So I've just sort of continued that care with the families that I looked after, but literally I do a few hours here and there. Like today I worked for 2 hours. But obviously this business, like I said, is my main income, and then my babysitting is just the bit on the side that I just like to do, just because I do enjoy doing that as well. So yeah, so that's pretty much my story. Obviously do this around 2 young children and school runs, and it fits in very well.
Very, very impressive. Now, can I just ask you, a lot of people are going to say, look, I'm taking the product, you know, and I know some people get results quickly, some people, you know, it takes a little bit longer sometimes, but yeah. But I think a lot of people are going to ask, so Lucy, how did you actually start? Who did you start talking to? How did you develop customers, and how did you start developing team members? Because for a lot of people, it's like a big mystery. It's like, okay, fine, I'm taking the product, but how can I develop other customers, and how can I reach out to people without it feeling weird, you know? So
yeah, no, I get that.
Do that.
Yes, obviously I was one of them people like, oh my god, how do I even approach this? Like, I didn't even know what Instagram was before I started this business, and that is literally no joke. So obviously I was not social media savvy at all, and when obviously I was trying to reach out to people, I was just being me, like generally just being me, and I was learning along the way as well. And that's what's amazing about this business, that there is lots of training and support, and there's everything you basically need to start this business. You don't need to be anyone special, you just need to be yourself, and that's just what I've really gone from. I've never changed who I am. I show me being a mum more than anything, and I'm not saying you have to be a mum to be this business, obviously, but you just have to be you. Show you every day on your stories, on your social media. You know, we're not saying that you have to stop posting about your normal family stuff and you need to just post about you know, Juice Plus, you just incorporate it into your social media. So obviously I absolutely love the product, so I show that I'm using the product daily, and it's also being very consistent with the product as well. So I'm very consistent. I have a shake pretty much every single morning. I take my capsules religiously every single day, but I make sure I'm talking about this, showing this, I'm doing lives about it, and just really being me. And I just suppose people buy into you rather than the product, if that makes sense. Like, people got to know me. I started to build relationships over social media. I started talking to like-minded people like myself that are relatable to me. You know, it doesn't have to be about, you know, cold messages them about the product or anything like that. It's just about, you know, asking them something that's quite interesting on their stories, like, oh, where did you get this outfit from? Or I do a lot of mums things, so I love to know about loads of people's recipes. I love to know like where they got their children's clothes from. But anything relatable to you, if you're adding the right people that are relatable to you, you're going to easily make relationships, and then naturally the product, you'll get these orders come in, and you'll naturally get team members just by being you and just being consistent and just being focused really with it. And you know, when you're focusing on being on the products, you're also being healthier yourself as well. So it obviously really does help. Hope I answered your question. I feel like I did.
No, absolutely. I just wanted to ask you a little bit more though about this scenario you said where you just get team members. So how does that work for you?
Yeah. So you know, I really show what this business is about. So it's like I said, okay, I talk about the commission, and I talk about the bonuses, and when I hit bonuses, and when my team members hit bonuses, and I share like lots of successes. Like, even if somebody's paid off their debt, I show it. If somebody bought a new car, I show it. Even if someone's like, for me, for a long time, like putting petrol in my car was a massive thing, and I literally never liked to do it because I was putting in like £10 here, £10 there. But because of this business, I can fill my car right up. I show that this business has gave me a full tank of petrol. It's just about little successes like that, and you'll find that people are relatable to you, and they want to have a full tank of petrol, or they want to win these designer incentives that might be there, or they need the extra commission. And with the commission, like when you talk to people, like, I'm not saying about posting either, but when you talk to people about the business that are interested in, when you say 10% can mean any value of money. So I really go sort of not quite deep into it, but you know, I go 10%. Like, if you sold our premium capsules, you're looking at about £24 something in just that one order. You know, you really need to like show the value of 10%, because there's a lot of network companies out there that 5% and 10% is sometimes just 20p or 50p. Like, really explain the business well, but don't like use numbers as in 10%, but also explain what that 10% is if they sold like your like most popular package or something like that. So just like naturally, like really going deep into that sort of thing. I feel like the value, you need to tell people the value of it, and show everything about the business, like successes, incentives, anything, any small wins. Even if you've just bought a new toaster and a kettle with your paycheck, share it, because there's somebody out there that might want just a new kettle and toaster, and this business that you've scrolling through social media anyway has gave you. It's just literally about sharing literally everything.
And you have just qualified for Centre Points. Yes. Now this is tremendous, because the incentive is running until September. We're in July. You've already qualified. You've got 30 points for doing various different activities. Not just activities, but getting results. So do you mind me asking where, I mean, you had to get 30 points. Where have most of your points come from on that?
I actually recruited quite a lot of people and helped them get to their first positions, and they're still trying to get them to their second positions. Also with orders as well. I did have this tracker down, but to be honest, it went quite crazy and I lost track. Yeah, most of it was probably customer orders. So.
And what
you
is
know,
the main product that you focus on for selling and buying?
really do focus on the shred package, just because personally that package means a lot
Shred
to me.
package.
Yeah, because
Can you describe for people what that is, the shred?
Sorry, the shakes and the boosters. So for me, I started on that package, the shakes and the boosters, and I got amazing results from it. So I find it very easy to talk about because I'm very relatable to that package. So I did sell a lot of the shred packages, and I still do. But yeah, I just mostly focus on that, and I really look after my customers. Like, I send them lots of stuff, like recipes. I do customer incentives as well, so if they refer a friend, or if they reorder, they get an extra, like, I don't know, goodie box or whatever. But yeah,
You're incredible. I mean, and so some people, a number of people on the call, I think, would love to follow you on Facebook or Instagram. So on Facebook you are
Lucy Blake.
And on Instagram you are
L Blake 93, and then JP. I can pop it in the chat actually.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Well, look, Lucy, I mean, absolutely well done. I mean, I can see, Shiv, who's my business support guy, from the office, he sent me the list of the people that have qualified for Centre Parks. But then I had a look at your Facebook and I thought, wow, that's really incredible what you're doing. Very consistent, very nice what you're doing. Really, I could see you sent a wonderful congratulations, a beautiful congratulations card to someone. And it makes such a difference, doesn't it? I mean, when do we ever get a retailer thanking us? Ever?
Yeah, I know. It's just about being yourself, and I literally love my girls in my team do amazing, and I just love to share everything, because my only regret.
NMD, I can see it. You are going NMD.
Well, that is the main goal. That is the main goal. But with Centre Parks, I found it really easy. And that's not me just boasting. I was just being myself and doing exactly what I normally do. And I got there.
Well done. Well, look, absolutely tremendous. Well, look, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate it. We have recorded this, so I'll get that over to you. And
thank you.
More power to you, and have a wonderful summer.
And you.
And thank you very much. And
and I'll see you at Centre Parks, hopefully.
Well, let's hope so.
Yes, you will get there. You will, definitely.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Kirsty. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And thank you very, very much for joining us. Thank you, Howard, too. And we'll see you very soon. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye. Bye.